Well, kids, against my better judgment, I gave Kevin Smith money again and saw his newest film, Clerks 3. Yes, I know Yoga Hosers was one of the worst movies ever made, and Jay and Silent Bob Reboot cracked my bottom 10 list for 2019, but the man kept on crying, so I had to give in. This movie kinda reminded me of Gru's house from Despicable Me. You've got Clerks and Clerks 2 represented by these nice, happy-looking houses. They had their serious moments, but they were fairly light comedies. Then we get Clerks 3 as represented by Gru's house, which is frankly a stone-cold bummer. You know, that doesn't make it bad necessarily, but it's quite the hard left turn. So Clerks 2 came out all the way back 7 Spider-Man movies ago, so you might need a refresher. Our lovable convenience store slacker protagonists, Dante and Randall, have purchased the quick stop from the first film in an attempt to get their lives on track. Dante has a fiancée named Rosario Dawson, and a baby on the way. Soul Asylum is on the radio. Looks like everything's gonna turn out just fine. Cut to Clerks 3 and Dante's family is dead and he's an emotional wreck, and Randall has suffered a big ol' heart attack just like Kevin Smith did in real life. Comedy gold. Now after he gets discharged from the hospital, Randall realizes that he's wasted his entire life and wants to make something out of his remaining years, so he decides to make a movie. It'll be about his adventures being a clerk at the Quick Stop, and the final product will look quite a bit like this movie Clerks that came out in the 90s. This being a Kevin Smith film in 2022 and one with a built-in meta element to it, you can expect excessive fan service callbacks to his Mallrats/Dogma glory days, and these were definitely the most tiresome parts of the movie. There was a casually blasphemous running joke about the Christian guy from the last movie becoming a Satanist, and you'd better think that that's funny, because Smith beats that joke so far into the ground that they made a sequel to The Core starring that joke. But besides that, most of the jokes in the movie are, hey, remember this from the first movie? Kind of referential humor. I laughed a few times, but there were a lot more jokes that fell flat than worked. I might have some leftover goodwill from the first two, but it's always enjoyable spending some time in the Quick Stop with the boys and Jay and Silent Bob and watching them goof off and shoot the breeze. And one thing really holding this together is the surprisingly compelling friendship between Dante and Randall. The movie gets very emotional in the third act, and Smith's grimmer tone pays off in a big way when you see the real reason that Randall made his movie. I've never thought much about Brian O'Halloran as an actor. He's definitely the weakest one in the original movie, but wow, he was given some chances to really shine and he rose to the occasion. Overall, kids, I've got some mixed feelings on Clerks 3. It wasn't all that funny, it was overly reliant on fan service, but the characters are still great, and in the moments when it got serious, it hit pretty hard. Overall, I'll be giving Clerks 3 a 0 out of 10 for blasphemy, but if that wasn't a factor, I think I'd give it a 5 out of 10, which would be higher than the 1 out of 10 I gave Yoga Hosers, and the 3 out of 10 I would have given Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. So buck up, little camper, you're improving. That's better.